Hey, it's Beck. I've really started cooking a lot lately, so I wanted to start a blog with all my cooking. Um, and apparently my cat wants to be in the video, but first off, I'm going to make just simple hamburgers and homemade buns. And first off, you need to activate the yeast. You need 2 tablespoons of active dry yeast. I've already got mine set up. You also need a little more than a cup of warm water, but not too hot or you'll kill the yeast. And you need 1/4 a cup of sugar and 1/3 a cup of vegetable oil. You're going to whisk all those things together and it's going to end up looking like this once you've let it set long enough. All the yeast is alive and breathing and making gas and stuff. And then you're going to add 1 egg and a teaspoon of salt. I don't really measure too much of anything around here. Let's see, let's get you a better view. Alright, and then I have 3½ cups of all-purpose flour. Now, I don't have enough all-purpose flour, so I did like 1½ cups of all-purpose and like 2 cups of bread flour, so I might need a little bit more oil or liquid or maybe another egg. I don't know. We'll see. I kind of like to cook by feeling it. Let's see here. We're just going to combine all this. And this is going to end up being a mess, or it always is for me anyway. I'm going to actually add more flour. My big Sam's pack of flour. I just kind of like it to be mostly not wet or it's going to stick to everything. There we go. That did it. And let me tell you, it sounds super cheesy and so like, well, of course you're saying that, but making your own bread and biscuits and buns really, truly makes a huge difference in taste. You can make them as fattening as you want. And I say that because I don't like to make food not fattening because that just takes away all the goodness. So anyway, my laptop's actually on top of my all-purpose flour here, so you just need to flour a surface to knead your dough out onto. Now let me get this back up. Just get all that. Now, a lot of bread recipes want you to rest the dough, but this one is like a quick recipe. So, go just get it all nice in that flour, and you don't want to over mix your dough or they'll be tough, especially with this bread flour. I found that the bread flour really makes everything so much I don't know, drier and harder to work with. It's not that it's a bad flour, but I don't know, it's just a little bit harder to work with. And we need a lot more flour on this. Jeez Louise. See, I wish I had gotten the dough more wet, but I'm nervous. Oh, man. Alright, well. Shoot. But you know what? I mess up all the time while I'm cooking, so this should make you feel better if you're trying to make this and it doesn't go smooth for you either. Or if it goes smooth for you, you can be like, woo, I did it better than someone who makes this all the time. Because I really, really like to make my own hamburger buns. That's my favorite kind of bread to make is hamburger buns. It's better, I don't know, it makes me feel better than just eating bread because that's what I end up doing when I make bread is just finding an excuse to eat pieces of bread with nothing on it. At least this makes it feel more like a meal. Anyway, I'm sorry about this time, but it's really worth it. And if you add enough flour early on, you won't have this much trouble. Ooh, got a lot of it stuck to my surface here. And it doesn't really help that I have all this other dough stuck to me. See? Don't get too alarmed if you mess up. You can probably fix what you've done by adding something. I mean, sometimes you will have to start over, but you know, I find that I learn something new every time I cook. Cheesy, 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 but it's so, so true. So I'm going to put this into like 8 6 or 8 buns, and I'm going to put them on an old pan, and we're going to let them sit for 10 minutes, and I'll show you what it looks like.